I'm here now with Amit Sood, who's our international panel member for the UK, and we wanted to talk. We thought it'd be interesting to look at rums from the smaller islands, and we're going to look at St Vincent, Grenada and Antigua, all of which have populations of around 100,000, less than 100,000 really, which is about 3 blocks in one of the capital cities you may be sitting in now. So the first one I want to talk about is Captain Bligh XO from St Vincent. A tiny island, a volcanic island, has black sandy beaches in the northeast of the island where the rum distillery is located. They use molasses and they use a traditional coffee still, a 2-column still. It's a small company, but they make rum that the locals there in St Vincent are hugely proud of. I don't think you'll have tried the Sunset Very Strong rum.
Well, actually, Neil,
you have.
I have had the pleasure of sipping quite a few glasses of Sunset Very Strong. I encountered Sunset many years ago, shortly after I joined Shaker, and yeah, it is very strong.
It does what it says on the box, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
So that's a rum very much for the local market. They like their strong rum, and they like to shoot it and then chase it with a mixer of some sort. But the rum we're looking at, Captain Bligh XO, is 5 years minimum age. They don't say so on the bottle. They don't wish to make that claim, but I do know that it is a 5-year-old rum, so very much made for the export market. So Amit, let's have a little drink, shall we?
Absolutely, yeah. It's as good as time as any.
This
I've said this throughout all my training sessions. This smells to me how a well-aged rum should simply smell, in that it has captured and extracted the pure essence of the molasses and picked up a lovely harmonious richness from the barrel, where that molasses note has sort of become buttery and slightly toffee-like, and it's a wonderful example of a well-aged, well-matured rum that really is very honest, and really it's a delight in a glass.
I think honest is a great word for this, because I absolutely agree with you. It's definitely rum. It's definitely got those notes of the source sugar product. I do have a little fruitiness to the side of that that's come through here. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. What about on the palate?
On the palate, it's got a sort of burst of that molasses with some nice sort of bittersweet interplay, finishing quite dry, but wonderful length. It really grips the palate, and there's a nice expression of oak with some sort of hints of some vanilla and some spice coming through as well.
Definitely got spice there, and the depth of character is quite surprising. And this is a relatively inexpensive rum.
Absolutely. I think it's a great bang for your buck.
Absolutely. Beautiful, nice people, lovely company, nice country that is about to expand much further. They're about to open a long-haul international airport. They have an airport at the moment that's just served by the little island hopper aeroplane. So I think more people will start to discover the country and the rum.
Wonderful.
How about moving to Grenada with me?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's not an invitation, but perhaps to try the rum. This is a rum. This is Old Grog. It carries the authentic Caribbean rum mark on the label. Grenada, beautiful country, quite mountainous, quite volcanic, so very green. Has a big tourist industry, so has some very modern hotels, and has a developing bar and cocktail culture, and some of the mixology work going on there is very interesting. Once again, a heritage and history of strong rum and interesting local rums. I'll refrain from saying too much more about them, but if you go there, there are some little local blends going on with herbs and spices in them. Some of the herbs more interesting than others, maybe, and that is part of the culture. The rum shops there are a fantastic experience. There's also there are 3 rum distilleries altogether on the island, or 3 rum producers, I should probably say, on the island. There's a chocolate factory there, which is very interesting. Grenada chocolate is lovely. Shall we try the old grog?
Let's go for it.
There you are, sir.
Thank you. So I'm sure you once told me that they use open top fermenters at this distillery.
I was just going to comment, because many people get a slightly unusual note. It's not unique by any means, because many products, many rums get various fruit notes out of them, but this does have a very distinctive flavour profile when we go on to try it. And they do use open fermenters there, and it's in a very rural area, like most rum companies are, and it does get subjected to wild yeasts, which give very particular flavour characteristics. And this product is designed to accentuate those flavour notes. So what are you getting on it?
Well, getting some lovely sort of oaky and sort of like cherry notes, with a wonderful sort of rich fruitcake and sort of deep, rich, I would say overripe banana kind of smell. And I think, in the back of all of that, there's a nice sort of toasted oak aroma as well.
Yeah, I look. This has got a fruit. I've just got a little ahead of you and did taste it. It's got a fresh fruitiness to it, which is, you often get dark fruits and rich Christmas cake flavours, but this has got a slightly fresher fruit palate to it. An interesting rum. The story of the term grog, but many people will be familiar with that story. But grog, they would claim, it comes from the letters G-R-O-G being stamped on the barrels, and that stands for Georgius Rex Old Grenada. And that was put on the rum barrels that were shipped to King George of England. So it was Grenadian rum being shipped, stamped G-R-O-G to denote the King's rum. I guess you took that at your own risk.
Absolutely.
So, a little hop up the island chain to Antigua.
Absolutely, yeah, let's carry on.
Again, small population, around 100,000. Again, this product carries the authentic Caribbean rum mark on the label. So, English Harbour and the rum industry there is really something that stems from the early 1900s, when the rum shops got together. Originally there was a French Saval still from about the 1930s. That subsequently got replaced, and it was replaced by a copper column still. So most column stills, coffee stills, tend to be stainless steel. This is with copper, because they wanted to retain the notes that one can get from copper contact with spirit. The still itself is a traditional coffee still. Again, they use open fermenters there, and they do get wild yeast. They're at a very coastal location, so get subjected to wild yeast. They've tried covering the fermenters to get a better efficiency out of them, get more alcohol. The trouble is they can't get the same spirit, so they have these. And their English Harbour brand was developed in about 1990. It comprises 3 variants: a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 1981 vintage that was bottled in 2007, I guess, because it's 25 years old. And that is the last batch of rum produced on the old Saval still. So it's a different profile to it. The one that we're going to try is the 5-year-old. So Amit, what's your view on this?
Well, this is another very high quality rum within the range, as they all are, but this is one that I like tremendously. There's a slight smokiness and a slight sort of almost flintiness on the nose, and this has a wonderful sort of lovely toasted oak and vanilla aroma, and a slight smell of sort of coconut as well. I sort of pick up. It's for me a very, very interesting rum. It works well in light aperitif style drinks, cocktails. The daiquiri is a particular favourite drink of mine. I think this works really well inside that. It has the lightness and the freshness that carries on through, but equally just as nice being sipped.
Yeah, I agree with you. You use lightness and freshness, and I think this is classically a well-aged spirit. It's not heavily aged in the terms of some other spirits. It's a 5-year-old, but of course with Caribbean aging, that is develops a lot of character. But it's just got those classic notes of well-aged spirits for me.
Absolutely.
Spiciness, the woodiness, and yet it's very light. I do think it drinks well on its own.
I do think it drinks really well, actually, and just now in the aftermath of having sipped that small amount, I'm getting great progression of flavour and a lovely,
absolutely
wonderful, sort of flavour being left.
Amit, that's been a whistle-stop tour around a few small islands through their rums. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers, Neil.